So hello guys, I'm Nishant Jain. So my 2 years at LPT were the greatest, and it helped me achieve my dream of CLAT.
Do you find that teachers are strict at LPT and the strictness is required for clearing CLAT? Tell us some books you read.
So I read Jane Austen, and I also read A Tale of Two Cities. A very fascinating story. The first class was of Sonia ma'am, and it was a very different day because I have never heard about such thing CLAT before coming to LPT. I learned a lot of things from here itself.
Hello, CLAT Aspirants. So you must be very much interested in meeting Nishant, who has been selected in the first attempt and he's going to GNLU. Hello, Nishant. How are you?
Fine, ma'am.
Congratulations for your grand success.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
It was first attempt of Nishant that he got GNLU, and he would tell us about his tips and tricks related to the strategy he followed for the CLAT journey. Yes, Nishant.
So hello guys, I'm Nishant Jain, and I'm from DPS Jodhpur. So my 2 years at LPT were the greatest, and it helped me achieve my dream of CLAT in the first attempt very much. And special thanks to Sonia ma'am. She was my constant mentor throughout the 2 years. She was a constant motivator as well.
Do you find that teachers are strict at LPT and the strictness is required for clearing CLAT?
It depends, and I can say that if you are in a great enthusiasm with the teachers and studying well, the teachers will help you the most. And in case of Sonia ma'am, well, there are two sides of same coin. For someone, she is very strict, but for me, she was very lenient because I always followed the path which she told me to follow, and I was very clearly sticking to the point which she gave me. The writing materials, the essays, the Victorian English essays, which were the greatest, you can say a very big impact in my reading.
Right, Victorian times, that's why this type of reading is usually not done in the modern times, right? So you follow that Victorian times too. Right. Tell us some books you read.
So I read Jane Austen, and I also read A Tale of Two Cities. I also read
Dickens, right?
I also read Animal Farm.
Animal Farm, George Orwell, one of the Russian Revolution allegory.
Yes, ma'am. And I also read essays of Francis Bacon.
Francis Bacon, wonderful.
It also fascinated me a lot that I also read essays like Trumpet Club and the, you can say, Convalescence.
Convalescence. Charles Lamb, the Prince of Personal Essays.
So these were the mantras that ma'am gave me, and
that's very good, Nishant. So in your preparation, tell us that how did you move on when you came first day to LPT? What was your reaction? What you felt? How was the theme?
A very fascinating story. The first class was of Sonia ma'am, and it was a very different day because I have never heard about such thing CLAT before coming to LPT. I learned a lot of things from here itself. So the class was a very, it was tough for me because the English was very high level. I also remember that we did the passage of ADM Jabalpur, Ivory Tower case.
Okay, so that's wonderful. That is a Jabalpur case was discussed the first class, and you felt it tough, but you know, things became very simple.
Slowly, gradually. It went on.
So it's not that things are difficult, just they appear so difficult in the initial stage.
Yeah.
Tell us about your weak points that you had and how did you conquer them to clear CLAT?
So I had weak points in CR, which is, I guess, the biggest problem for a CLAT aspirant.
Students.
Yeah, it's a very big hurdle. But thanks to Sonia ma'am again, she gave us the best books, Wiley, which was, I guess...
You did both the books of
Wiley? I did both the books of...
Reasonings, questions.
Yes,
must be feeling like GMAT is something very tough for the students to do something.
In the starting, ma'am also gave us sheets, which were very helpful because it had a very deep questions which have all types, ma'am, of assumption, weakening, strengthening. So these are very important in conquering CR. And I also regularly attempted ma'am's every extra class. Even its fifth time, I'll attend every assumption class.
Right. Even if the class was repeated, you never missed.
I never missed
religiously followed and he attended the classes. This is really, no absenteeism really leads you towards your goal.
Yes, ma'am. And I also had weak points in QT as well.
QT.
So for QT, I did the sheets given by Law Prep.
Ritesh sir has told you the tricks of doing QT.
The only way to master QT is to practice in daily. And if you cannot practice in daily, try to divide the subjects which you think are weak for you and try to work on it more.
In the exam, like most students say that we skip or do things like QT, if you were able to run the CLAT paper wonderfully.
So one thing is for sure that if you don't do QT, it's tough for you to reach a good college because the score matters on your QT score. And QT is a very big decider because the top 3 subjects which are
Right.
English, CR and legal, anybody can do them. And it's the basic thing which
Right.
every student do.
True. This is the hidden secret, right?
To stand out, we need to do QT and GK, which is a very big.
Right. And tell us what besides this you conquered them. Now tell us your strong points. What was your feather in your cap kind of a topic and subject?
So it was always English. It was always English from the beginning. I was very strong at English. I don't think so I struggled in English very much. Once again, thanks to Sonia ma'am, she gave us the best reading material. I have to mention it again because it actually helped me to understand and comprehend the passage.
Right. We also need to know
Yeah.
the candid things. And that's
Yeah.
why we ask you, there is no exaggeration or hyperbolic flaunting here. It's the truth, the hidden truth that we are revealing here.
So I also had strong point in legal as well. And in legal, I read a lot of legal judgments which were provided by Mukul sir. I used to read every of the judgments by printing them physically. And I used to read them.
Right. You got the hard copy of the things and you read all those
It's
judgments.
the best way to solve legal because if you read variety of cases, you'll open up your mind.
Right. The precedents always
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Right.
Best and solve.
And what about the GK thing? GK part. like-
Okay, so GK was a very fascinating thing for me because in our childhood we think GK is only Indian, but it's actually such a vast topic. And when once I came here, I get to know about a lot of things. So first in GK, guys, you should always stick to the material which is being provided to you. That's the best thing you can have.
As Express.
Yeah, CLAT Express. So first of all our students cannot see every sources, and the best thing is CLAT Express because it provides us every aspect. It's a spare for you to go everywhere.
Right. A sphere to go everywhere. Why not? Go for it.
And I very much followed Mukul sir and Javed sir. They both helped me a lot.
Right.
And I watched marathons, which helped me.
Marathons have been always a plus point for LPT preparation and everything.
I also try to improvise. I used to do every question, even though I don't know it, because once I do every question, I'll get to it while checking it. So I don't forget it or I just skip it.
I could see a vast change in your vocabulary, the word that you're using. Appears like students have to consult a dictionary, improvise and many things. Do you feel that the same? You can see that Nishant would tell us his secrets of learning vocabulary.
So vocabulary, once again, I have to mention the Victorian English, which had a vast amount of vocabulary and it's not easy to ace it.
Students say the book is too big. Mom, should we read? Students say that they're not able to read. What would you tell them? Is reading possible, like reading 5 to 10 novels or short stories and essays, because you read a lot in this field?
So reading is tough for someone who's beginning. So you start with these short stories, which you gave us. Then you should go to essays. So it's like stairs. You have to take every step. And once you reach at the top, you can start reading books. I would suggest you to start with short stories. Then you have to go with essays. And then you can start the next.
Right. It's step by step, short stories, essays, novels, and slowly you become an avid reader.
And we are in a legal field. We have to study long precedents and judgments.
Students say if you're not
required.
interested in reading, what would you suggest them, the students who say, ma'am, reading, it's not my cup of tea?
I think you should definitely approach your English teacher like Sonia. I approached Sonia ma'am and she gave me insights to beautiful stories and essays.
So you enjoyed those?
Yeah, I always enjoyed it. And that's why the reason that in the class when we had interrogation, I used to stand the least amount of time because I always read whatever the editorial gives and anything which is, provided to us. So the first thing was to go home. And
This is very true. Nishant has been religiously following. He's been one of the most obedient students who would say everything that was told, there's nothing lacking. If you just follow the footsteps and guidelines here, I think this is the result. And here he is with us in 2 years program, selected in first attempt. And a student always aspires to be like you.
And I also want to mention something that many of the students think that teachers are strict. But I want to tell them that the teacher who's teaching you has an experience of 25 years. You might not be probably of that age. So they carry a lot of experience. So I want you to follow them. And because they have the wisdom, which can be a great thing to achieve your CLAT dream. And also, I would like to give some suggestions as well
Right.
for future aspirants that start solving 100 questions a day. which is
questions that they be able to do.
which is
do you
very
think?
important thing, because in my personal experience, when I was preparing for CLAT in 12th, my score was not that great. So when I talked to some of my seniors, they advised me to solve more questions, and we solved a lot of questions at LPT itself and home itself. So there was a drastic change in my marks. They grew from 60 to 85 with the help of more solving of questions. And I will also suggest you to, divide the subjects in the weaknesses and the strengths, and focus more on the weaknesses, because once you get to know about your problems, it will be easy for you to solve them.
Okay.
And one more suggestion I would like to give is that
Right.
for every 11th aspirant, please try to register for CLAT from 11th itself. It helps you in experience of CLAT. It gives you great insight of how CLAT is being conducted.
Very good.
And it helps you in the 12th that you're not...
Exactly what 11th aspirant should do. He is giving you the exact things that are required to be done.
For me, in 12th, it was nothing new because I have given CLAT in 11th as well.
Okay.
So you have to...
Still a practice.
Yeah. It's very important. And guys, please solve 100 questions a day if you are at the end of your journey, because it's important to have the momentum before going into exam. And stop solving mock before 2 days and try to read more things just to calm your mind, because it will be tremendous if you do a lot of mocks in the end days.
Right. See this vocabulary, tumultuous, right? That confidence we can see in him, that intellectual glow, he's glowing with words. And this is what every aspirant really aspires for. Any message, Nishant, you have for them to follow and do things?
Just stick to the things which are provided to you. And CLAT isn't that difficult, guys.
CLAT isn't that difficult, guys. Please mark his words, a point to be noted, my lord.
So just stick to your practices and do things which you take, and try to be more consistent with your scores, because once you get the consistency, you'll get the confidence and you'll be able to solve questions and any problems on your own.
Consistency pays you.
So there were days in my preparation as well when I was self-doubting.
Your mocks didn't answer you and you felt that, I think I can't do it. What happened at this juncture?
At that time, I used to feel actually bad, because once you get a score of 80s, 60s, then you suddenly drop to 30s and 40s. It's a great reminder.
It's very sad.
It's a great reminder to start working again, and to see where I lack. And the days were depressing, but eventually the regret goes on. It moves away. It moves on, and
you get scored well again. So
you cannot stick to one thing. You have to, be very, dynamic. You have to change.
Very true. You have to be dynamic.
You have to change, because once you stick with the same thing, you cannot progress.
Right.
So I feel that setbacks are there. Just take them as a motivation and focus on your future.
Right. True. Nishant is one of the most vivacious students we had in our 2-year program, always bubbly and chirpy with answers, and you can see the result here. So Nishant, this was so nice talking to you. And we are very proud of you, and congratulations again from the LPT team that we wish you a bright future, that you make us proud again.
Thank you.
Right, student. Thank you.